back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Well, I suppose we should play the connected song on an episode of Boomer Life with the Neurokinetics gang, in which we discuss, well, trauma and the potential for withdrawal and disconnect after such events in our lives. Our guest in studio, Philippe Souvestre, the founder and president of Neurokinetics, and I must hasten to add, a very recent inductee into the International Academy of Aviation and Space Medicine in a ceremony at Oxford just a few short weeks ago. And again, our congratulations to you, Philippe. Also in studio, Sonia Dale, the clinic manager. J.C. Gordon is with us, too. He's the director of liaison and logistics. We're talking about trauma and disconnect. And I suppose, Philippe, back to you. We heard from Doug, who had been a kind of a disconnected guy for a very, very much of his life. So how do we know when we're going through a disconnect, or someone close to us is going through a disconnect, that we may feel the need to help? What are we looking for?
It depends on the severity of what is going on. Sometimes it will be very obvious, like somebody losing, being totally unable to operate in whatever since always.
Just sort of withdrawing.
And also being incapacitated.
Okay.
Not being able to perform in a domain you would expect that person to be able to perform.
Right.
So that is the blatant side of things. There is, most of the time, it is more subtle than that, and it will be translating about people avoiding things, withdrawing gently, shy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe very much in shyness since I have become the professional I am, because it is a way to withdraw and stay away from things which could be overwhelming, and when one would find oneself into a place where there is an inability to adapt.
Okay.
So that would be the trigger, the thing to look at.
Okay.
If someone is avoiding situations and is unable to adapt to it, I'm talking about daily life and plain, gentle situations, that is a big sign.
Okay.
So shyness, withdrawal. I don't believe in laziness either because of that. It is that unpreparedness which cannot be compensated for, this inability to face and adapt to a new or known situation.
Sonia, you've talked to us in the past on previous shows about people, and I recall one example. A woman eventually came to the clinic, and she was suffering from depression and a disconnect, a very serious disconnect. Mm-hmm. But she was so isolated and so withdrawn, as Philippe has just described, she decided, okay, I'm going to get some help. I've heard about Neurokinetics. I'm going to give them a call. Between the time that she took that decision and actually called you, 6 weeks went by. It took that long just to screw up her courage to pick up the phone and get something done.
Yes.
Some people are so withdrawn and disconnected, they can't do it for themselves. Do you get calls from people going, look, my son, my husband, my wife, my grandmother is having some problems here, and I don't know that she's even able to identify them, but I sure can. Can I bring her in?
Yes, and actually even for, general people calling us in for themselves, we normally do ask for somebody else in their life that is supportive, to them and of everything in their life, to bring them along, because a lot of times the other person is able to observe things that they're not able to see, or they may forget.
Right.
In this case, like you're saying, if it's for their son, their daughter, their boyfriend, their husband, their wife, whoever it is, yes, they do call us because they are seeing things that maybe the other person is either denying.
Right, sure.
Right? Or either they cannot see it.
Or they just don't see it.
They just don't see it. And it gets to a point where the person, once we do get to speak to them, their self-esteem is affected because they're hearing this all the time. Hey, you're being like this. Hey, you're isolating yourself. You're not doing this. You're not doing that.
Stop being so weird.
Exactly. That's the main word. It's weird.
Right. Okay, Philippe, we don't have a lot of time, but I need to ask you this. Is autism a form of disconnect, or is it a whole other thing? I just got to throw that out there. As I say, we don't have a lot of time, but help me out on this one.
Short answer, yes.
Really?
More extended answer, I think it may be a good idea to dedicate a show to this. This
I'd
is
love
a
to
very
do
vast
that.
question.
Okay, and it seems to be more prevalent as time goes by. So can we get you to talk to us about autism on a future program?
I'll be glad to do that.
Excellent. Neurokinetics, by the way, in the meantime, if there's someone in your life that is perhaps you're more capable of seeing the need for some assistance than they are, as Sonia has just identified, get on the phone. Give them a call. Neurokinetics website, by the way, is neurokinetics.com. All the information, Dr. Philippe's contact point, JC, Sonia, the phone numbers, the address on Granville Street, 3195, by the way. There will be no test, but it is 3195 right there at 16th at the bottom of the hill. Give them a call. Check out the website. All the information is there. And for goodness sake, as our friend JC likes to remind us time after time, it's the place that offers hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you all, Philippe, Sonia, JC, for coming by. It's always a treat to have the Neurokinetics crew in studio.
Thank you, Sterling.
It's mutual.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll talk autism next time, okay? Excellent.
Sure.
See you next time here on Boomer Life on CI.